Hello everyone, I'm Relentlessly. We are back again talking about how Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox Software, lacks the self-awareness to understand that raising the prices of video games hurts only the consumer as people continue to reject these $80 price hikes, as you've seen before in my previous videos when we talked about people reacting to the price of Mario Kart World being $80 and people wanting Nintendo at least to drop the price. Now you have a fan asking Randy Pitchford directly about Borderlands 4 being an $80 experience, as you've seen games like Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Oblivion Remastered come out at price points of $50 and having massive success on Steam and on Xbox, of course Game Pass, with Clair Obscur, of course, selling 2 million copies. Obviously, that's not from just Xbox alone, but that is, of course, all platforms. And you have Oblivion having a high peak player count of over 215,000 concurrent players. We seem to have a disconnect between the fans and the CEOs, where you have CEOs literally telling fans who have questions about the price of their games that you are not a real fan if you don't want to cough up $80 for a new Borderlands game. Meanwhile, you have games of quality coming out at $50, destroying everything in its path. And then you even have games like Doom the Dark Ages coming out at $70, also not performing well. Of course, there are other issues with the fact that it requires a ray tracing card or a card with ray tracing in order to actually be played on the PC platform. But let's get into the exchange here and get into my thoughts about why this is, of course, stupid. So you have this guy here saying, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increases of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. To which Randy of Pitchford, of course, responds with, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. Bro. The lack of self-awareness as people sit there and say to Nintendo to drop the price of Mario Kart World, even after showing a Mario Kart World Direct, showing everyone that the game is absolutely not worth $80, and people are going to have absolute FOMO, like I have with getting the Switch 2 at launch, basically getting Mario Kart World for $50 because nobody wants to pay $80 for anything, for any new games. And when you have Microsoft increasing the prices of their first-party games coming this holiday for $80, people are going to continue to question other developers that are going to follow suit with this $80 price increase, or $10 price increase to $80, I should say. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991. Nobody cares what the price of your game was in 1991. People only care about what games cost now. And of course, there have been plenty of times as to why this is the thing, considering the cartridges were more expensive to build. They had motherboards in the games, and the games were actually complete. You didn't spend $70 or $80 on a video game and then later have to pay for, I don't know, battle passes, season passes, sometimes online passes. Remember online passes where you had to pay another additional fee if you had a used copy of a game to play the game online? I'm looking at you, EA. When I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Again, nobody cares about your personal life and how you were able to afford this video game when the price of living was a hell of a lot cheaper back in the 90s. Okay, people see that everything is going up, everything is more expensive, and the one thing that it helps them escape from that reality are video games. So they would like their entertainment to not be more expensive in just a few short years, where you had 2K raising their prices to $70. You had Nintendo sneakily raising Tears of the Kingdom from $60 to $70 and then saying, oh, it's just that one game. And now they have multiple games on the Switch 2 being $80. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Kart World. More than likely, Metroid Prime 4 will be an $80 game on the Switch 2. Then you have Tears of the Kingdom also being $80 on the Switch 2. And even Breath of the Wild would be $90 if you wanted a complete experience with all the DLC with the game. So, again, there are multiple games out there that are going to be $80, and it's going to come into question whether or not GTA 6 is going to be $100, which is what a lot of people are speculating, considering the budget of that game, the rumored budget of that game being $2 billion. But you've even got big gaming YouTubers, one of my favorites here, Spawnwave, saying the art of just not saying anything seems really undervalued nowadays in response to that tweet. But I think the biggest thing that I saw going around was the fact that Devolver Digital came out with this tweet in response to Randy Pitchford claiming you are not a real fan if you don't cough up $80 or cough up more money for his new Borderlands game. Saying you're going to be able to buy Mycopunk for you and 3 of your friends for the price of 1 copy of Borderlands 4. That's interesting. How indie developers are calling you out on your trash pricing. More than likely, this game is going to be $80 because people will see things like Mario Kart World selling up for a lot of money, or making a lot of money, I should say, and thinking, oh yeah, Borderlands 4, even though Borderlands 3 was absolute garbage, and thinking he was going to make $80 on each copy of Borderlands 4, which he did respond by saying, Mycopunk is cheaper than a point of, this terrible, harmful substance. Probably has fewer side effects too. Bro, did you turn into Dreamcast guy in like the last 2 seconds when you decided to post this tweet at 2:22 a.m. today, actually? What is this tweet, bro? With all the nonsense going on behind the scenes with Gearbox and your, allegations that came out, and the fact that the quality of Borderlands games has completely dipped since Borderlands 3, even with Tiny Tina's Wonderland being an absolute trash fire, what makes you think people really want to spend $80 on your game? Again, if people didn't want to rush out and spend $80 on Mario Kart from Nintendo, which is a way bigger franchise than Borderlands will ever be, what makes you think people are going to shell out $80 for Borderlands 4, knowing the quality of how games have been coming out in recent years? People are having loads of fun with games like Expedition 33, giving them hundreds of hours, and also Oblivion Remastered, giving people hundreds of hours for their $50 purchase, as well as being on Game Pass, of course. But it seems like people really enjoyed Expedition 33 enough to actually purchase the game, considering the game sold over 2 million copies, as I mentioned earlier. I just wanted to bring this to people's attention that this is what the CEO of Gearbox Software thinks of your money. He thinks that you should work even harder to spend money on a game that is possibly broken at launch, not complete at launch, and then more than likely charge you extra money for a season pass on top of your $80 purchase for this video game, when you can easily take that $80 and buy literally anything else. You could buy literally a whole bunch of other games on Steam, for example, for really, really cheap. You could even get PC Game Pass for $12 a month. You could even get Game Pass Ultimate for $20 a month, and you get better high-quality video games spending that low amount of money than spending $80 on a single purchase. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. We will be playing some more Doom the Dark Ages tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you all there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the words from Randy Pitchford himself? Are you going to be picking up Borderlands 4 at $80? Or are you going to be waiting for a sale? Or are you just never going to pick this game up at all? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe for more, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that we'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.